Hello YouTube, Lyricise17 here, but you can just call me Travis. And welcome back for another video. This one, a thrift store scores video, which is exactly what it sounds like. On Friday, my wife and I went to a thrift store around here, and you know, I gotta admit, I never actually really kind of went through, you know, the stuff that thrift stores had, and actually kind of came across a bunch of stuff that I actually wanted. And this was a different day, my friend. I came across several items and picked up many of them, so I felt kind of the need to make it its own video as opposed to kind of incorporating it with the regular collection update videos. So yeah, let's just jump in. In the background, we're listening to the self-titled release from Substratum, Seattle, traditional heavy metal. Awesome stuff. All right, yeah, I got a few cassettes and a few CDs. Let's do it. First one up. Actually, I'll do this one first. This is actually the first thing that I saw, and it's probably the thing in the pile that I care the least about, just because I'm the most unfamiliar with it. But I was kind of like, huh, that's kind of cool. And since it was on cassette, I grabbed it and was gonna buy it. And yeah, it's the soundtrack to Ghostbusters II. As the movie goes, I like it. Don't like as much as the first one, but yeah, it's a good one. The soundtrack, which I was not familiar with previous to this release, it's got, you know, Bobby Brown, New Edition, James Taylor, another Bobby Brown track, Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew, Run DMC, Oingo Boingo, Elton John, Glenn Frey, Howard Huntsberry. Never actually listened to any of the stuff that I'm going to show in this video, but yep, I'll have to give that one a spin, see what it's all about. But I thought just, you know, Ghostbusters, buy it for that reason alone. So yeah, soundtrack to Ghostbusters 2. Next one up, and this one was a immediate grab. And this is the soundtrack to The Lion King. Awesome. It's funny, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is a more recent release, but nope, it came out in '94, just like the movie, because it has this awesome blue, you know, printing on the white shell. Not super in love with this soundtrack in general, but Be Prepared, performed by Jeremy Irons, is probably my all-time favorite Disney song. I remember we had the VHS, and I would watch that song and then rewind it and watch it over and over and over. You know, nothing special on the inside, just credits and stuff. But yeah, had to grab that. Hey, well, you know, actually put it back the correct way the first time. So yeah, Lion King soundtrack. As a random fact about the movie The Lion King, for my brother's birthday party kind of a thing, they went to see The Lion King in theaters, and for the longest time, that was the last movie my mother had seen in the theaters for many years. I'm sure to the point at which it became a thing she purposely avoided to go see movies, so she could continue saying that it was the last movie she had seen in theaters. She has since broken that. She's whatever year, it was around 2010 or whatever, when the Sherlock Holmes, the first one with Robbie Downey Jr., when the first one came out, she went and saw that in theaters, and has since now seen a handful of movies. But anyway, that was kind of a random fact I thought I'd throw in. All right, lastly for cassettes, this is the soundtrack to Top Gun. Interestingly enough, all cassettes ended up being soundtracks. Actually own this on CD. My wife and I actually listened to it yesterday as we drove to my sister's bridal shower. She's having twins. Congrats to her. But yeah, we listened to the soundtrack, the CD version. My wife actually was the first, one of the first gifts she ever gave to me, and actually the first CD gift she ever gave to me. So yeah, it was kind of a, you know, we already had it, but wanted to grab this anyway. It was also specifically, you know, this was a soundtrack that my parents owned. and so it was sort of just, you know, a soundtrack that has been around in my life for a long time. So yeah, wanted to grab it. Case is broken, but you know, not really a big deal. Not much with the J card. Yeah, you know, there's some quality tracks in here. You know, obviously, Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins rules. Mighty Wings by Cheap Trick is also another great track. I'm really into the song. What's it? Lead Me On. I really like that one. That's a good one. I also really like the song Through the Fire. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Through the Fire. The Top Gun anthem. Also a quality track. Yeah, I like the soundtrack, and you know, the more and more I've grown more open and enjoyed more types of music. I think I've probably enjoyed this soundtrack even more. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. But Top Gun soundtrack, pretty cool. All right, now on for some CDs. First one up, thought I'd do this one first since I've shown so many soundtracks. Let's continue that. This is, I guess this really isn't a soundtrack. It's songs from, but it's from Dawson's Creek. If you're not familiar with this is a TV show, kind of a teen, high school, on to college, you know, type show. I probably consider this at this point my second all-time favorite show. Take that fact for however you will. Yeah, you know, we already had this owned. I've actually turned my wife onto this show as well. But we thought, you know, why not just grab it again for whatever reason. You know, not super into tons of these songs, if I'm honest. Obviously, the Paula Cole "I Don't Want to Wait" is iconic and sort of attached to the show. "Kiss Me" by Six Punch None the Richer is probably the other song that people probably know well, as it's the one on the hype sticker. The only song really missing from this is what's her name? Now I'm totally blanking. Anne. Run Like Mad. It's the alternate opening credits song that was used mostly internationally, and then for seasons 3 and on the DVDs. And I think actually when Netflix streams it, it's all that song. And Heard maybe. The song's called Run Like Mad. Anyway, to me that song sort of become the opening credits song over the top of Paula Cole's, but anyway, at this point I'm rambling, but yeah, anyway, we wanted to grab that anyway because we both love Dawson's Creek. Alright, next up, sort of a semi-embarrassing purchase. This is Soundgarden's Down on the Upside. Big into this genre, and obviously being from the area, it sort of has a something extra for me. Also, you know, I like Soundgarden a lot as well. This actually, surprisingly, maybe is the first Soundgarden album I've ever actually purchased, which is kind of sad. I'm surprised I don't even have Super Unknown, but you know, it is what it is. So yep, it's been actually probably a while since I've listened to this, but we'll do that soon. This is actually, I'm pretty sure, is the album that came directly after Super Unknown. Yeah, 96, so that's probably the case. So yeah, Super Unknown, Soundgarden. This next one up is Like a Virgin by Madonna. This is actually the 4th album I now own by Madonna, although the first, everything I have is Ray of Light and After, most specifically with Confessions of a Dance Floor, which is that's probably my favorite Madonna album. But yeah, Like a Virgin, obviously we've all heard that song title. This one also has Material Girl. I was actually kind of surprised. You know, there wasn't any other songs on here that was like big Madonna hits. But anyway, thought I'd grab that. Like a Virgin, Madonna. Next up, saw this and I was like, you know what? This is a band that I've always sort of meant to get into. But their discography is so huge that it's kind of intimidating. But, you know, for $1.99, I thought, why not? This is Signals by Rush. Rush is a band that I'm sort of familiar with, mostly not. You know, I've heard tons of songs by them, and you know, I've liked everything that I've heard. But in terms of, you know, breaking down and listening to their albums, not something that I've done. This is the first album by Rush that I have. And so yeah, thought I'd grab it, listen to it. To be honest, I think Subdivisions is the only song that I know, at least, you know, by song title on here. But yeah, people who are into Rush, recommend, you know, how should I listen to their music? Should I, you know, start their first album and kind of, you know, do it that way? Or, you know, should I listen to specific albums? 2112, I know, is a big one. Darla, please wait. I know, it's hard life. So yeah, Signals by Rush. Let me know what I should do in terms of Rush. Last but certainly not least, I already own this, but I thought I would grab this. Just 1 second. Alright, I'm back. I already have this, but I could not buy it. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son by Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's favorite band. I don't know, this is, I don't know, somewhere probably, I don't know, but probably surprisingly, like maybe my number 6 favorite Iron Maiden album. But, you know, obviously couldn't pass it up, because actually I have like the re-release version. So it was actually kind of cool, because this is like a, actually it's kind of funny. All 3 of these are like music club editions. But I thought, yeah, it's kind of cool to grab a different version of another awesome album. So yeah, Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Alright, that is it for the Thrift Store Scores, as it were. Yeah, so thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of those releases, please let me know what you think of them. And like I said, please let me know how I should start getting into Rush. And maybe I'll start doing that. Yeah, otherwise, have a good day.